The NASCAR Winston Cup Series is back for its final race before the June off week as we're here at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania for the running of the Pocono 400. It's the 15th race of 32 in the 2003 season, and it's sure to be a crazy one as the points battle is tightening up at the top, and with the championship points leader starting mid-pack and his rival starting up towards the front, this race could play out in a very interesting way as the 32 laps unfold. I'm Joe Rakowski. Up in the booth with me is Trey Bardo. And Trey, it's great to be back home in Pennsylvania here at the Pocono Raceway, and it's great for for your only driver, Henry Guo, in the Zero, as your team made the show and put that car in 13th place. How about that?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised by what he did with this. I know that he wasn't the happiest after practice. I mean, we weren't sitting very well. I think it was, outside the top 40 out of all the cars or something like that. And then he goes, we need to make this race for the home team. And I said, all right, we'll go do it. And he went out and did that. So I'm very impressed.
Is that the only inspiration you need to give your driver, is just go do it and he'll do it?
I'm all right with that. If that's the only inspiration I need to do him, it shows that he follows orders.
Yeah, I guess so. And other drivers that followed orders, how about Colin Teague and Nathan Orman, Trey? You know, we talked about at Road America, a lot of the underdogs, a lot of the go-or-go-homers qualifying well there. Well, here today, 3 of them are starting inside the top 15. As mentioned, your driver Henry Guo in 13th. Then Colin Teague made his second straight race, his 4th of the season. He starts in 14th, and Nathan Ormond, who qualified 3rd at Road America, starts in 15th here today. So, Trey, once again, at a track where horsepower and aerodynamics mean so much, 3 of the smaller teams really came out to play.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do at a track like this. I mean, at a road course, it's kind of you would expect them to kind of fall off because one, they might not know the track too well, right? And it's kind of a technical place. But at a track like this, I mean, really, anything can kind of go your way if your car's fast enough or at least can hold position. You never know what could fall out.
And to pivot from the underdogs and the smaller teams to the big name teams, because that's all that's starting up inside the top 10 here today at Pocono. You have Roush Racing's Keyshawn Richardson on pole. He's closed in on the points leader of the past few races. Here today, a pole position. We've talked about all season long how Keyshawn Richardson has not been able to qualify and how he always has to work his way through the field to get up front and get good finishes to beat Brett Sierra in terms of the points day. Well, here today, he starts on pole. He has a really good shot to try and maybe even take over the points lead because Brett Sierra starts back in 18th place. So watch for Keyshawn Richardson. He's going to try and definitely get this first lap led for 5 bonus points. From then on, he's going to try and keep every position he can to close in on that points lead. You have Hendrick Motorsports and Justin Zeidel starting in 2nd place. Still has not won since 2000. Maybe today could be the day. He's on a kind of momentum streak from the last race at Road America. Robert Yates Racing has 2 cars inside the top 5 with Riley Sprotube in 3rd place. He's up into the top 5 in points, and Luke Rennie's moving up in the point standings. He had a good race at Lowe's, good race at Road America, starts in 5th. He's the hometown hero, home track for Luke Rennie here at Pocono, even though he's on the opposite side of the state of Pennsylvania. It's still considered his home track, and I'm sure the crowd would love to see Luke Rennie get to victory lane. You have Joe Gibbs Racing and Chris Jericho starting in 4th place. You have RCR starting in 6th and 7th with Kirchner and Evans, MB2 with Evan Hunter, Penske with Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and DEI with Ryan Wilson completing the top 10. So very big teams starting up inside the top 10. And one of those teams, Trey, Penske Racing, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and just the whole team, that team is going to be expanding for next season. It was announced just yesterday here at the racetrack that Penske is going to merge with Jasper Motorsports at the conclusion of the season to form a 3-car team for next season. And Trey, all 3 cars in that organization, they don't have a driver signed yet. So there could be any 3 drivers in those seats next season.
Yeah, I was a little caught off guard with that announcement. I was surprised that Jasper went with this, especially from where they've been the last couple seasons to being more competitive this season. I figured they were gonna see how that went, but I don't know the reasoning behind it. I mean, they've had a string of bad luck recently, so maybe it's something on the financial side, but it's hard to tell. We didn't really get that many details about it, but yeah, I'm part of me is sad to see them go, but another part of me is excited to see what this new team or however you want to say it, how that's going to branch out.
Yeah, fortunately, there's still a part of Jasper staying because it's going to be Penske Jasper Racing next season, and Jack Haas and Brian Simic are going to be sharing kind of that load at the top in terms of team owner. They're both going to be, half and half team owner, so we'll see how that plays out. Maybe 2 team owners with the same team could help maybe take the load off. One guy focuses on something like maybe competition, one guy focuses on something like money or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they want to play that out, how it all works out, and how the team performs for the 2004 season. We'll definitely be loving to see how Penske Jasper does next season. But this season, they're focused on their own teams, with Penske, Zach Fitzgerald Sr. starting up inside the top 10. Jasper Motorsports has 2 cars outside the top 20 with Belladonna and Jude Martinelli. We'll see if they can move through the field here today in the Pocono 400. And one quick note before we get to the green flag, Trey. Last race at Road America, we had said, 4 cars went off into the gravel trap in turn number 1. And when the replay showed it, Trey, it was Nolan Lawrence getting into Anthony Hernandez, spinning him out into turn 1. And it wasn't just, he bumped into him. He went down to turn 1, turned right, and hooked the number 1, and unfortunately collected 2 other cars, including Baby Rose and Jacob Miller. But Trey, remember Dover, where Hernandez ran into Nolan Lawrence head-on under the caution flag, taking them both out of the race? Well, here last week at Road America, was that some payback?
I don't think you can say it was anything but payback. I mean, that was as deliberate gets, and sadly, I mean, it took out 2 other cars with them. Normally, if you see drivers get payback, you kind of want to just be those 2 drivers, right? But that's how it goes sometimes. I know it's the 19 is your car. Did you any news from your side of it? Did you talk to him after the race and kind of get his side of it?
He said it was an accident, but
of course he did.
He said he was trying to arc it into the corner, and the one was just going slower than he should have been going.
I don't know who your PR team is, but they taught that kid right.
I mean, it was also interesting because after the race, Anthony Hernandez was interviewed about it and said, what's your take on it? And he said, well, I still beat him, so he didn't do a good job at payback. But when the one hit the 19 head-on at Dover, the one finished behind the 19.
Yeah, that's fair. So,
I mean, what's even now, I guess.
Yeah, technically, I guess they're even. I don't know. I feel like whenever I went to let me rephrase that. Whenever I accidentally spun someone else that I had a thing with in my career, I don't know if I can get in trouble with it, but I tried to make sure that they couldn't finish the race, or if they did, it was I didn't try to make sure. They always ended up not being able to finish the race. That's what I should say.
Well, I'm going to say right now, if Anthony Hernandez is still ticked over what happened at Road America, I'd hate to be Brett Sierra, because he is the one driver that is between Nolan Lawrence and Anthony Hernandez. So the 19 starts in 16th place, the one starts in 20th place. If I'm Brett Sierra, I want to try and find a way down to the inside or just behind whatever's going to happen, because if the one gets to the 19, who knows what Hernandez might do here today at Pocono. It's a high-speed racetrack. Hopefully nothing happens in terms of retaliation for anyone out there, but we'll just have to see what happens in the Pocono 400. We'll take a look at the track facts before we get to the green flag here at the Pocono Raceway. Very overcast day here in northeastern Pennsylvania, as it's 77 degrees out and a lot of wind at 7 miles an hour eastward, so we'll have to see how that plays an impact into the race here today. It's a 32-lap race, a little bit shorter than we're used to at Pocono. We had all these 500 milers. Now we're down to just 400 milers and 32-lap races. And the fuel window, about 22 to 25 laps. We'll expect them to come down sooner, though, to get the tires on. So maybe around lap 20, we might see some drivers make that first move onto pit road. And variable banking everywhere here at Pocono. No banking on the straightaways. 14 degrees in turn 1, 8 degrees in turn 2, and 6 degrees in turn 3. That's just the uniqueness of the Pocono Raceway here. 3 different corners, 3 different length straightaways. And watch for this stat as we move into the race. We talked about Hedge Motorsports' dominance at Road America with how many laps they led in those races at that racetrack. Well, here at Pocono, the 2002 winners led a combined 11 of the 72 laps run here. So the winners here last season didn't dominate the races. So we'll have to see, will it be a dominator going to victory lane here today, or will someone come from behind and get the victory late? We're going to find out after 32 laps in the Pocono 400. Let's go down trackside and fire the cars up.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engines have fired, 42 cars rolling off pit road to do battle in the Pocono 400 here at the Pocono Raceway. Starting in 4th place, Trey, a driver who maybe wants some redemption from last season. It's Chris Jericho in the 18. This race last season, he started on pole, but unfortunately, had to come down here at the conclusion of lap number 1. We never did know what the issue was, but I can only guess, Trey, that character on the hood of his car, he was probably a lot like that in his car as he was coming down pit road with an issue. Starts in 4th here today. Can he find redemption, get to victory lane here today?
Yeah, I think that's still one of NASCAR's biggest mysteries. What happened to this car last time? But we'll have to see if maybe this starts a little better. He doesn't have to come down pit road before we even get back to the start finish line.
And hopefully, maybe the Incredible Hulk can help him out there and get him going a little bit faster here today at Pocono. Then just outside the top 10, how about the recovery for this man, Keegan Thompson, this season, Trey? Last season, entering into this race, he had one top 5 in the season, and it was at Talladega, the race where anyone can finish inside the top 5. This season, entering this race, Trey, 2 wins, including last week at Road America, where he led every single lap. It's safe to say Keegan Thompson is back to form.
Yeah, it's about time this kid starts doing what we know that he can do, and maybe he can get it done here.
Maybe he can, and we'll have to see. Starts in 12th place. Can he go for back-to-back and a 3rd win on the season? This man's looking for his 3rd win of the season. Brett Sear in the 25 comes in as a points leader, Trey, but lately he's been floundering and dropping in points, and he's down to just under 50 points in front of Keyshawn Richardson. He starts 18th today. Richardson starts on pole. How can Brett try and minimize the points loss or even gain points on Richardson here today?
He's a man of few words, Joe, and you know why that is? Because he's doing nothing but focus on what he needs to get done, and he's got a lot to do today, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this thing, he's battling up there for that win.
Well, off turn 3, the pace car makes the turn to pit road. 32 laps from this 2.5-mile triangle in the Pocono Mountains. Keyshawn Richardson, Justin Zaidel, the front row. The green flag is waving. Richardson takes off. We're underway in the Pocono 400. Three wide through turn 1. It was Zachary Fitzwater Sr. making the big move to the bottom of Conrad Evans, forcing it 3 wide. Richardson, Trey, wasted no time getting away. He wants those 5 bonus points for leading the first lap.
Yeah, he got an incredible jump there, and he was clear by probably 2 car lengths by the time we got to turn 1, so that shows you how good of a start that car has. But the real question is, how long can he stay out front if anyone else can catch him here? I know Luke Rainey really wants to lead here.
And Luke Rainey, the hometown, the home track hero, trying to get up to 4th place by his teammate Riley Sprode. A great start for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Gained spots and gained another one on Kirchner. Lap 1, 5 points to Keyshawn Richardson. Here's Jericho for 2nd on Zaidel. That great start for Richardson got Zaidel clear to the bottom. Now Jericho trying to get down in 2nd place. Luke Rainey still bound for 4th with Riley Sprode. He has help from Evan Hunter. And then here comes Fitzwater Trey. Started in 9th place but up to 7th on the opening lap. And Henry Guo moves up inside the top 10 to 9th place in that 0 car. He also had a great 3 wide start in turn 1.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I got a little nervous when I saw him on the bottom there, but he did a nice job. Here also comes that 33. We've seen she's been battling with qualifying issues, right? And normally when she qualifies in the back, something always happens, but she's in a decent qualifying position here today, and she's making it worth it so far.
Started in 6th place. While the outside's not the place you want to be, she quickly got down to the bottom, gaining spots back by Riley Sprode, moving back up to her starting spot. Jericho had a look on Zaidel last lap, couldn't make it work. You see back there, Brett Sear got downline in the 25 car, but he's outside the top 20. Jericho again couldn't complete the pass, almost came out into Luke Rainey. Behind them, 3 wide to turn 1. Jay Randall got put in the middle, 3 wide in turn 1, lap 1. This time he does the same to Henry Guo, who was the one that put him 3 wide on lap 1.
I guess a little payback, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, I think he knew what car did it. He said, well, if I have a chance, I guess I'll do it. As Rando moves up a spot. Up in front for 4th place. Evan Hunter had a good run here last season. Up to 4th by Luke Rainey. Rainey did not get off turn 2 well. The outside of the tunnel turn, not the place to be. He's going to drop into the clutches of Kirchner, who looks to move up from her starting spot in 6th place, going for 5th. And then Riley Sprode to come back on his teammate Luke Rainey. That would be for 6th place. Again, Jericho with a better run off turn 3, but the draft has helped Zaidel the last few laps. He's going to stay in line for now, maybe wait to make the move. By the time they get to turn 1 right here, Zaidel can't use the draft to get back clear. Jericho might finally make it work in turn 1 this time.
We'll have to see if he can get the grip he needs to get. He's got a good run halfway through the corner. He's probably going to be side by side coming off here. We'll have to see if Hunter is going to help him or possibly make an aggressive move. Looks like he's peeking.
Yeah, he's peeking out. He's looking 3 wide into the tunnel turn. You can't normally fit 2 cars here. How are they going to fit 3?
We're good, I think.
Wow. What a move for Evan Hunter.
Very, very aggressive move, especially early on in the race like this.
Well, that's a driver who wants to gain points on the points leader, Trey, and he's shown it right there. To second place he goes. Now Jericho trying to get the run off top with turn 3 to keep third because Sarah Kirchner's flying up. She's up to 4th place now with help from the Robert Yates cars of Riley Spurgeon and Luke Rainey. They're pushing Kirchner down the front straightaway. Here comes Spurgeon moving out, and Brett Sears moving back up through the field, Trey. Sierra now up to 17th, get by Ryan Wilson that last lap, so Sierra now a spot further forward than where he started the race, making moves back up to falling back on the outside lane.
This 24 is definitely struggling right here. As soon as he got to the outside, a whole train of cars now on the bottom. It's going to be a little difficult trying to find his way to the inside here. It might be a while unless something happens and there's a break in the line.
Guo and Fitzwater going by him right there. Then Jay Randall, and as you mentioned, there's more behind, like Collins and Hunter Reed and all these guys. What a run for Guo up through the field. Just got by Zidell right there, up to 7th place for that 0 car, and sees the top 6 in his sights. If he can cling on to that draft and stay with these guys, he can definitely compete at the front of the field. At the front all the way, here comes Evan Hunter. Made that 3-wide bonsai move into the tunnel turn a lap or 2 ago. Now he's looking on Richardson for the lead. Behind them, Kirchner looks on Jericho for 3rd place, but the 18 gets the draft, stays right in by the 36, and is able to keep that spot for now. The teammates once again will battle for 5th place. Luke, Rennie, Risebridge, who can't get away from each other. Luke on the bottom, Spurgeon up top. Here comes Hunter looking low down the 2nd straightaway, but it looks like the 99 got a better run off turn number 1, able to keep the spot. Now Jericho's on the outside. He got too good of a run down the straightaway.
Imagine that. Too good of a run. I don't think I would have ever heard that.
Yeah, and you just did right there because he got stuck up top and unfortunately had nowhere to go but to the outside, and he's going to drop back a few spots. Now Kirchner made that pass, but she's put to the outside by Riley Spurgeon. She's going to drop with Chris Jericho on the outside lane.
Now, Joe, if you look outside right now, right, cloudy, muggy, it's classic PA weather, right?
Yep.
How do you think this affects the car and the drivers during a race like this?
Well, definitely for sure the clouds, they're going to create more horsepower. As you can see back here, 3 wide for 3rd. And side by side for the lead. What great action here in the Pocono 400, but it's going to create obviously more horsepower. The engines are going to be working overtime here today. Luckily it's only a 400-mile race, but also a lot more grip, and I think that's attributing to some of these big bonsai 3-wide moves we've been seeing. These drivers have the grip to make it work, as Hunter's going to try and complete the pass on Richardson. It does. Behind them, 3 wide again through the tunnel turn. Fitzwater makes it work on the bottom. Jericho and Kirchner have to back it up top.
I think I've seen more 3-wide moves going into the tunnel turn than I would ever like to see in a whole season. These guys are being so aggressive right now. They got to be careful here.
Jay Rando thought he was clear down low, made a big move to the left, but then I think at the last second, Spider said, wait, the 24's inside, and Rando moved back up to the middle, and luckily it worked out for everyone. Rando actually got in line at the end of it, but that was near disaster right there as these guys are racing aggressively. Hunter's out in front, Richardson in 2nd, Luke Rainey in 3rd, Riley Spurgeon in 4th. The battle for 5th is Henry Guo and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. racing side by side down Long Pond straightaway. What a great run, Trey, for your driver Guo here today.
Yeah, he's doing absolutely fantastic at the moment. I don't know what's gotten into this guy, but he's driving the wheels off. Hopefully, he can keep up with it here.
Looks like Fitzwater got a better exit off turn 2 on the top, but Guo stays to the inside. So these two are staying side by side. The unfortunate part is that they're kind of sinking the pack with them. The front 4 is single file. These guys are 2 by 2. If they don't get it sorted out quickly, it's just going to be a 4-car race. But also, Richardson's gained back on Evan Hunter. If these two get side by side, then it'll slow them up, and then the rest of the pack won't really lose much. As Richardson looks onto turn 1, he's going back for the lead on Evan Hunter. The big thing for that, these two are up there in the points. They're battling, Trey, for those 5 bonus points for the most laps led here today.
Yeah, it'll be so I mean, that just means that these guys are not really going to give up an inch to each other because they both need those points, and we'll have to see how it all goes out here, but I'd be worried about the 2 teammates behind them.
Yeah, Luke Rainey and Riley Spurgeon, as Luke got put to the outside right there, but Riley let him back in. Now Guo is clear. He has a great run going onto those front 4. Got away from the traffic, and he's gaining big time. Then he's bringing Jay Brando with them. Zidell's back on the inside, moving back forward. Then Keegan Thompson. Mitchell Collins started mid-pack. He's moving up. So is Hunter Reed. Ryan Wilson was one of the fastest in practice, but didn't show it in qualifying. He's moving up. His teammate Hernandez was fastest in practice. He's moving back up through the field from the mid-pack, bringing Brett Sierra and Tim Gary with them. Baby Ruiz moving up from a poor starting spot. Thompson looking 3 wide into turn 1, and Fitzwater barely had that thing cleared in turn 1.
I don't know if the 24 got a little nervous with the late move by the 5, but it looked like he slid up the track big time there. And like you said, Fitzwater just got out of the way.
Battle for second is on. Luke Rennie, Keyshawn Richardson going after it. Once again, Luke is up there near the points, so he has to try and beat the 99 because he knows at the moment Keyshawn Richardson and Brett Sear are up at the front, kind of in a deadlock in the points, and Luke wants to try and gain points on both of them here today. And so far in the bottom lane, he's going to do it as he gets by Keyshawn Richardson. Here comes his teammate Riley Sprutu, but as these guys battle Trey, Evan Hunter has pulled away to the biggest gap so far in the Pocono 400 today.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he can keep that gap, or once these guys get it figured out, as they just now did. Actually, I lied.
Richardson made a fool of you right there. He said, no, wait, I don't want to give up second place yet. And here he goes to the bottom, but this battling for second, it's brought Quo, it's brought Rando, and Fitzwater into it, and it might bring Thompson and some of the others back into it.
Yeah, I don't think, with the way these guys are battling, and since it's so cloudy, I mean, these guys are able to stay side by side for longer than we're used to seeing here. It's allowing, these guys to kind of gap themselves, but then the pack comes right back in. It's almost like we're, in a way, super speedway racing, to where we see, there's stages where a couple of front guys kind of space themselves out, and then the pack just finds their way back up to them.
Sarah Kirchner cannot find a way to the bottom. I was going to mention both her and Jericho can't find a way down low. Jericho finally did, but Kirchner got put up top 3 wide. She is falling like a rock. She was up there battling inside the top 3 just a few laps ago. Trey, last time by the stripe, she was 21st place, and she's still going to fall spots because here comes others on the inside. She's still up top 3 wide. This has been a dismal last 5 or so laps, getting stuck up top, and she cannot find a way down in line. She's still up top 3 wide.
Yeah, I don't think I want to listen to that radio right now because she cannot be very happy.
No, I wouldn't be either. Right there, she lost about 3 spots in that straightaway. Last season's champion Mathis Wells moves down to the inside lane, and Kirchner is still falling through the field as the front few get single filed out. Brando and Quo got passed by a few cars, so they've dropped back behind Fitzwater and now Keegan Thompson. Ryan Wilson moving through the field. Zidell trying to come back, and Mitchell Collins trying to join his teammate Fitzwater up inside the front 5. He gets a great run off turn 3 and gets clear up at the front. Hunter still leads, but Richardson is closed in with Riley Spurley and Luke Rennie in the 88. Quo's trying to look out, make a pass on Thompson into turn 1. We'll see if he can stick his nose to the inside. He tried, but just didn't have the grip at the end straightaway to stick the car to the bottom. Thompson will stay in line in 6th place. Will get up in 7th. The battle is on for 8th place between Mitchell Collins and Jay Randall, but Randall's going to get the draft down Long Pond straightaway, get in line behind them. Some big moves. Hunter Reed was stuck up top. He drops down to the bottom to try and get in line. Chris Jericho moves low at the last second to get down in front of Zachary DeLello and pass Anthony Hernandez. Some of the most aggressive moves you'll see at Pocono happening here today in the cooler, cloudier conditions as Riley Spurley makes the pass for second on Keyshawn Richardson. His teammate Luke Rennie trying to come with him in 3rd place.
I mean, I think it's going to be one of these 4 drivers, right? I mean, they've been in the class of the field so far all race. I mean, as long as they have a good pit stop, they're going to be hard to beat.
Could come down to pit strategy, though, as well. You think about, with how much the tires are falling off, you can see it physically through the corners. They're going slower than they were within the first few laps. If you come down a lap or 2 sooner, Trey, you could easily gain a second or 2 or even 3 if you have a good outlap. And right now, 10th place is only about 2 seconds back, so Ryan Wilson, if he pits a lap sooner, probably could inherit the lead if none of the guys in front pit with them.
You just got to be sure that you're good at saving tires, because that could make all of the difference here at the end of this race if we continue to go green. It might only be a lap or 2, but we don't know how big of a gap that'll be come, after everyone's pitted.
Well, we're nearing halfway in the Pocono 400. I think it's a great time to do the Gatorade audience analysis because it does focus on some of the drivers at the front of the field. But last week is a little bit of a dim topic to talk about, but it was which driver's been the biggest disappointment of the 2003 season so far. And of the 4 options, Trey, our fans couldn't really decide a true winner because the highest percentage was Mathis Wells, last season's champion, at 35%. But the rest, Kukulon 29%, Zidell 23%, Stout at 11%. So, everyone got a good amount of votes. But I will say for Mathis Wells, right, he didn't have a stellar season last season up until this race. He won this race last season, then went on to win the championship. It was his first win of the season last season here at Pocono. So for Mathis Wells, things could look up if he can try and get up to the front here today. But this week, we're going to go to the complete opposite side of the topic. Which of these drivers has been the biggest good surprise of the 2003 season? Is it our current race leader, Evan Hunter? How about Riley Spurley, Sarah Kirchner, or Lathan Strickland?
Oh, man, those are some hard picks.
Yeah, they've all been really good surprises.
I don't know if I can pick one. What was so? It was Hunter, right? Kirchner, Lathan, and then Riley. I'm gonna have to go Riley.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go Riley Spurley. Yeah. I don't. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't know if this team was gonna be competitive coming into the season, and then he raffled off a win. Rainey's been up here the entire time. At 28, in the mix for the points leader, or was in the mix at one point. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with that 28.
Yeah, as you mentioned, though, all four are really good options, right? You think about Evan Hunter, MB2 really picked it up. They won the Daytona 500. He's up there bound for the points lead, something that I don't think anyone really thought would happen at the beginning of the season. And Sarah Kirchner moving over from Chip Ganassi Racing to the fourth Richard Schiller's car. We're wondering how that was going to go. It's worked out very well. She's been one of the most consistent drivers this season. Riley Spurtube, as you mentioned, he's been very consistent, has the most top fives on the season with 5. Looking to add another one here today to make it his 6th and his 6th top 10 and gain back on the points lead. Also won earlier this season. And then Layton Strickland, moved over from DI. It's his 3rd team of his career, and his very short career as well. And he's, wondering how he's going to mesh with Hendrick Motorsports so far this season. It's been good, except here today, Trey's not had the best performance. He's currently down actually last place for the 48 car.
Yeah, so there's definitely something not clicking with them, and I mean, all drivers have those days, they just have a day where they can't seem to get it right, and, it'll be a long race for those guys, but they'll end up bouncing back at some point.
Yeah, the thing he's just going to be most mad about is that he had one of these days last week at Road America, too, where he failed inspection and was stuck in the back of the field all day. So he's definitely going to be disappointed that he's having a back-to-back one here at Pocono, especially since he was up there in the midst of competing for the points lead. Right after Lowe's, he'd really gained big time with his good run, and the guys in front of him in points, backing out and falling out of the race. And then at Road America, he lost a lot of points, and here today looking to lose a lot of points as well. So it's not the day Strickland was hoping for here today at Pocono. As you can see back there, the pack's kind of split now. We have a kind of a divide as the front 11 have gotten away, the last of them being the points leader Brett Sierra and your driver Henry Guo. And then 12th on back, you have Hunter Reed, Kukulan, Jericho. So if these guys want to try and get up there and battle for the win, it might have to be these guys pitting early, pitting in front of those front 11 to try and gain and move up. As you can see right here, battle is on for second as Luke looked low on his teammate. Actually ended up putting Keyshawn Richardson to the outside. He might lose 4th place to Keegan Thompson in the 5.
Weird how that works, ain't it? You try to pass one guy, but you hurt the guy behind you.
Yeah, and I'm sure Keyshawn's like, why are we trying to pass here? We're like a lap or 2 away from pitting. Can't we just stay single file? Thompson's actually looking 3 wide again.
No. Especially with the tires being this old, they gotta be careful.
Wow, I think the 88 and the 5 were banging doors there off the tunnel turn. Thompson makes it work and gets 2 spots. And I think they're going to be coming up pit road.
Yeah, he might have made a couple of enemies with that late move, but I mean, to be fair, it's not the first time we've seen Keegan make a late move this race.
Leaders are pitting first as Mitchell Collins stays out. He'll lead a lap. You have Kukulan staying out, but most of the field is coming down, so they're going to try and get the tires on sooner. And look at the stack up here with all the cars coming up pit road at the same time.
Now we got to watch out for a couple different things here. This
look
pit
at Martinelli.
Road tends to be tricky. Did he get spun or did he get held up?
I think he was just held up. His pit stall so soon. I think he was on the outside and had to just stop basically to ensure he made his pit stall. Now he's going to have to go all the way around the racetrack again. And a 2.5 mile racetrack, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely not. And we'll have to see how everyone gets off pit road here. So far, so good. Clean 4 tires, put fuel in the car. Hunter's off. Looks like he's going to be able to keep the lead.
You see Luke Rainey leaving with Fitzwater right there. Richardson a little bit of a slower stop. He's going to drop back 3 wide, leaving pit road. To the 41, he may have pitted sooner. As right here, look at this mess coming up pit road. The car coming up to speed. 3 wide back here. Eli has to give to the Joe Gibbs guys.
I was getting a little nervous watching these guys come off pit road.
Well, you're merging onto basically the active racetrack.
Yeah, that'll do it. But I mean, we were good so far. You're just gonna wait for these last couple guys.
Yeah, the calmer portion of pit road. We're only about, what is this, like 9, 10 cars came down, led by Mitchell Collins and Sebastian Kukulan. There they go, and here come the leaders. Evan Hunter got a good pit stop, got away. Then Riley Spurtube in 2nd, Thompson in 3rd. Fitzwater's going to be 4th. 5th place was the battle right there. Randall just passed Luke Rainey with Bibi Ruiz moving up in the number 7 car, right into the back bumper of those two. So Baby Ruiz had a good pit stop, and he's gained some spots and up here, up into the top 10. There's Collins. He's going to try and leave up with these front few guys, and he might be able to actually merge up inside the top 5. Same with Sebastian Kukulon. Just came off pit road. Looks like he'll merge with Zarek Fitzwater Sr. So maybe for these guys, coming in later worked because they didn't have a congested pit road to deal with.
Yeah, that definitely looked like it worked out better in their favor here. Well, Fitzwater is going to be aggressive like he always is and try to make a move on the 29. But, I mean, I think I'd rather come down on a more empty pit road than, you know, a congested one. I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, I think if you're the leader, obviously coming down sooner works out because you get the tires on sooner. You don't have to deal with anyone because you're the first car on pit road. But if you were back there in 20th place or 21st, if everyone pits in front of you, you don't want to deal with 19, 20, 22 cars in front of you. If you come down, you know, you stay out, and then you'll be one of the first cars on the pit road the next time, and you can carry more speed into pit road, and you don't have to worry about hitting other cars on pit road. So, yeah, I think it was a great call for both Collins and Kukulon to just gain them some track position here, and they've moved up nicely. Kukulon puts the outside right there, so he's going to drop back, but, yeah, it definitely gained him more spots than where he came in.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works out come, you know, 10, 11 more laps here before the end of this race, but I think they should be able to. I would be surprised if they aren't able to, you know, almost confirm a top 10 here unless something goes wrong. I would think the 29 is going to be able to keep pace. The one I'd be a little worried about would be that 7.
Yeah, Baby Ruiz, who, you know, hadn't been running up towards the front, had qualified pretty poorly, but moved up nicely. He's been a driver that's been a pretty good surprise this season, put in some good performances here and there, and here today have another good one if it can stand like that. But the front three are Evan Hunter, Riley Springton, Keegan Thompson. They're single file, but they're bunched up. Just about 0.2 of a second separates those three, with Hunter leading the most laps here today, Riley Springton and Keegan Thompson just behind him, trying to steal one. We mentioned, you know, both the winners last season. They didn't lead the most laps in this race. They only led a combined 11 laps. It was 4 for one driver, 7 for the other. Well, here today, Evan Hunter's led the most. Riley Springton, Keegan Thompson, they haven't led here today, but that doesn't mean that they can't win it.
Yeah, 100%. And we've seen how aggressive Keegan's been so far this race, and that 28's just kind of been playing, you know, the long, smart, slow game here. So honestly, I don't know who I'd would think has the best chance at the moment.
Well, outside the top 10, in fact, further back in the top 10, give a call to some of these drivers and just kind of update. First of all, we know Baby Rose. He's moved up to 6th places. Here's about for second. Thompson looking on Riley Spro for that second spot, but Rose has moved up to 6th place. We had mentioned him. Keyshawn Richardson dropped on pit road, now down to 10th place, and just a few spots in front of his championship rival, Brett Serra, who's in 12th place. So at the moment, Richardson would gain, but not as much as he was looking for. He's actually trying to make some passes back there to get some more spots. Jason Albert pitted sooner than anyone. He's moved up to 14th place. The question is, will he have the fuel to make it all the way to the end? Then Henry Guo has fallen back to 15th, but still with a solid day. The Joe Gibbs drivers have fallen to 18th, or 17th and 18th, with Eli Bright moving up to 20th place. And then you can see back here a little bit further back, Zidell has dropped down to 26th after pit stops, not the pit stops he was looking for. Conrad Evans down in 31st on pit road. And then Sarah Kirschner's down to 39th in the 33. And Strickland's still stuck down in 41st place, only gained a single spot on pit road and trade. These two are still side by side, only hurting their cause as Hunter is out in front and pulling away. These two have to sort it out at some point.
Yeah, you would have to think one of them would just concede and try to catch that 36 back up, but it's that race driver's ego, Joe. You don't want to be the one to look like you're backing out, and right there, finally, the 28 stuck on the top side of the tunnel turn. He'll fall behind the 5, but that's just how it ends up being one time. I mean, the cars are even. They're both really fast. It's just no one wants to give up the position.
This is a man on a mission right here, as he's just behind the top 5. Now, Ruiz has moved up into the top 5, but Keyshawn Richardson, who came in the favorite to take over the points lead, just behind him is the championship rival, Brett Serra. He has to get as many spots as possible to get away from Brett Serra. We know he has a fast race car, showing it down the front straightaway, gaining on the 7 all the way down through the straightaway. Now into turn 1, looks low, trying to make the pass work, as these are the top 10 cars with Kukulon and Collins. 9th and 10th back there as Richardson's going to get 5th place back from Ruiz, moved just by his teammate Jay Rando, who's up to 4th place. Thompson is close back, and then Evan Hunter, the number 5, has some serious pace. Trey come back around to 6 laps to go. Could he go back-to-back and go for his 3rd win of the season? Could he be mounting a charge to try and take that points lead and get into the championship contention? There he goes for the lead to turn 3!
Almost looked like Evan tried to block him as soon as they got off the tunnel turn, and then went back up, and then Keegan decided to dive yet again, and he right now is up to the inside, but they're going to stay side by side, and that's going to allow Riley to catch back up.
Now, watch the run for the 28 down the straightaway. Does he take it 3 wide? Is he feeling bold? Who's he going to go with if he doesn't go 3 wide? He's going to stay high with Evan Hunter. Can he push him by the 5 into turn 1? They're going to stay side by side. Now how does it work off turn 1 down Long Pond straightaway? 6 laps to go. Pocono, the front 3 in it to win it. The front 2 side by side, door to door down Long Pond straightaway.
The thing is, at the moment, were we looking 3? Oh,
Riley
don't do it.
Don't do it. Out, stays behind Thompson for now to the tunnel turn. Pushes the 5 clear. Thompson's out in front, but can he hold off Riley, Sprotube, and Evan Hunter? They're going to have a run back at him if they get single file.
I was going to say, the good thing about this is that these guys have such a big lead on, 4th place, and they don't really have to worry about them catching up while they're battling like this. Now they finally shuffled it out for their single file, so they should be able to, put a little bit of a gap again on 4th place and hopefully bunch back all up. But Joe, this is getting intense.
Yes, it is. With just 5 to go now, Hunter looks back on Sprotube into turn 1. Maybe thought better of it, knowing that they need to stay single file to at least get back to the 5, have a shot at the win for themselves. Brett Sierra has joined that pack back there. He's moved up into the top 10 as Richardson tries to get away from him. Here's the battle for a second. Hunter's not letting Sprotube stay single file, and that might hurt their cause in the end as Hunter gets to the inside of the 28, and now the 5 of Thompson can try and pull back away, but it looks like Sprotube got the run. Maybe the 36 used his stuff up.
I know for a driver, there's nothing more aggravating than someone trying to pass you while you and the guy behind you know that you can't go and catch this leader. So if Hunter continues to be a little aggressive here, it might not help the relationship between Riley and Evan.
Looks like the 28 got a little bit of a gap right there, so maybe he can try and pull back away. Look at this. Keyshawn Richardson, he knows Brett Sears moving up through the field. The 25 down to 9th place. Richardson saying, I need 4th now. And there he goes to the bottom, going for 4th place into turn 1. This 99 Trey, he might be driving on pure aggression in these final laps because he knows the 25's coming, and he knows he lost all those spots on pit road.
Yeah, he's might not be the happiest of campers, but we'll have to see how angry driving gets him.
Well, he's going to clear Rando by the time we get to the tunnel turn, move his way to 4th place, and it might bring Brady Ruiz for 5th by Richardson's teammate Jay Rando. As the 7 had to run, the 97 got a better run off the top of turn 2, gets in line. Fitzwater looks out on Ruiz. Can he get to the inside? He's oh so close to doing so, but can't get there. They stay in line single file as they come off turn 3 to see 3 laps to go. Pocono, Thompson, Sprotube, Hunter, but here comes the 36 again, moving out in the 28, and once again, Ryan Sprotube can't be too happy about that as they race to turn 1 again.
And again, I mean, it seems like the 36 makes a move, and then he just doesn't go anywhere with it.
And he got a run right there again, so he might take it again to the bottom. There he goes, down the 2nd straightaway to the bottom. Riley Spritube's got to be like, what are you doing? I can't do anything with this 5 car if you keep doing this. And once again,
whoa,
they go side by side. And this time I think they're going to stay side by side. The 5 can pull away, come back to 2 to go.
You see how he threw that car into there?
He's being a little bit aggressive, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't, interesting. Maybe he thinks that he can catch the 5 by himself here, but we'll have to see now that he's clear. Is there even going to be enough time, though?
Yeah, just 2 laps to go now, 5 miles. And, I don't know if he even has enough time if it stays single file, let alone this 28 might try and pass him back because he's saying, all right, listen, you cost me the win. I'm not going to try and just push you up to the 5 now.
Yeah, it's never a mutual thing with these guys, is it?
No, it is not. As they race off turn 1, Sprintube got a great run in the draft right to the back of the 36. Does he push him? Does he pull out? And he's going to pull out.
He's going to pull out.
Long punch straightaway. Of course he's going to pull out. He's not too happy with Evan Hunter, but didn't have the run. The 36 gets back in line in 2nd place. These guys fooling around allowed the 99 and the 97 to close back up. If they had, 5, 10 more laps, we could have, 5 or 6 cars, but it's just going to be these 3 for the win. Keegan Thompson, Evan Hunter, Riley Sprintube, they come off turn 3 for the final time. Here is the white flag of the Pocono 400. Thompson trying to get back to victory lane for the 2nd straight week. 1 lap to go at Pocono.
I don't know. I mean, it's not a big gap, but it might just be a big enough gap unless these guys can get a big run going out of turn 1 here. They're going to dive it down to the inside. They caught up a little bit, but is it going to be enough?
We'll see off turn 1, a good run for Evan Hunter down Long Pond straightaway. Does it stall out? Does it stay with? Down the 2nd straightaway for the final time. Hunter trying to close back up on Keegan Thompson and make a move into the tunnel turn. So far he can't, but Thompson passed Hunter in turn 3. Can Hunter do the same on the final lap? Thompson, Hunter, Sprintube lined up nose to tail. down into turn 3. Hunter not close enough to make a move. Does he send it in? Thompson protects the bottom. Hunter trying to get there, but it's not going to be enough. 3 wins in the season, his second straight. Keegan Thompson back to victory lane at Pocono.
Kind of makes you wonder if Hunter would have passed Riley a little sooner. What could have happened there?
Yeah, that 36, he looked a little bit better than that 28 there at the end. And yeah, I'm sure he was making Thompson sweat a little bit because he was coming on that last lap.
I was expecting a move at some point, or maybe even a little bump and run action, but I guess 36 didn't want to risk it. And I mean, second place is a second place, but it's just not as good as a win.
It's not, but it's also a really good points day, as he did beat Brett Sear, he beat Keyshawn Richardson, albeit all of them finished up inside, all those front runners in the points really finished up inside the top 10. He still finished ahead of Keyshawn Richardson, led the most laps, so he got really good points there, and he's going to close in on both Sierra and Richardson as Richardson closes in on Sierra. So, I mean, really, the front 4 in points, the 36, the 28, the 25, and the 99, they close back up because the 2 behind, the 2 third and 4th in points, finished in front of the 2 that were 1st and 2nd in points, and the guy 2nd in points finished in front of the guy 1st in points.
Run that back one more time?
Yeah, there's basically, Trey, all the guys that were behind the front 2 in points, you know, the 3rd and 4th place in points, they beat the top 2 in points. So
okay.
They're going to gain.
That makes more sense. That was a lot.
I wonder the odds, Trey, that Keegan Thompson had the pit stall, which had the checkered flag area around.
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah, Thompson's pit stall was the only. He's that. You see that checkered flag there? He was one of 2 guys in between that.
Interesting how that works out.
Yeah, it's almost like it knew. I don't know, but we'll go check out the finishing results from the Pocono 400. A chaotic ending as Keegan Thompson, for the 2nd straight week, finds victory lane. A lot different than how he did last week, though, leading the most laps and all the laps from pole position. Today, he stole it from Evan Hunter, who ends up in 2nd place. Riley Spiritu was in 3rd. And how about the charge at the end for Keyshawn Richardson and Jay Rando, the teammates from Roush Racing? They finished 4th and 5th. Richardson within half a second. Rando within a second of the race leader. Bibi Ruiz, the pit strategy and all that, the pit stop worked out to perfection. He gets 6th place. What a run through the field. Once again, that's another run where Bibi Ruiz has been so impressive this season, just kind of getting up there at the end and solidifying a good result. Fitzwater about ran top 10 all day, ends up in 7th, and Brett Sierra, gutsy drive for him. He does lose points to the 3 guys behind him, but ends up 8th from his 18th place starting spot. He'll definitely take that. Luke Rainey, about the lowest he was running all day, is where he finished in 9th, and Sebastian Kukulan completes the top 10. His good strategy worked out to perfection. Mitchell Collins ends up in 11th, as he kind of faded there at the end. DeLello with a solid day in 12th place. Hunter Reed with a good day, 13th. Mathis Wells from the mid-pack ends up in 14th. And Eli Bright from outside the top 30 gets 15th. The other petty car with a solid day in the top 20 with Roberto Crown Jr. Chris Jericho never could recover after losing that track position after getting put on the outside. Tim Gary, a solid day. He moved up inside the top 10 in points last week. Should be able to keep it with that day. Hernandez and Matthew Burnett round out the top 20. There you see Ryan Wilson, Jason Albert. He did gain spots from that pit strategy up to 22nd. Henry Guo fell at the end, but still had a very solid day. Top 10 for most of it, a top 25. Solid points for that team. Jacob Miller, a good day. One of his better days as of late. And Justin Zeidel, he fell after pit stops, gained some spots, but not as high as he was. Only 25th for the driver of the number 24. Atkins never had a good day, never really talked about him. Jordan Stout never talked about him. Evans fell to finish in 30th. See, Nolan Lawrence fell down to 33rd. Lathan Shirkin gained some spots, but only 35th for the driver of the 48. He came in top 5 in points and was up there in the mix. Not going to be in the mix anymore after that one so far. Sarah Kirchner as well. She started well, got put on the outside, never could find the inside again. 40th place. She's another one up there near the top in the points, but she's going to drop. Next, see Colin Teague and Benny Lynn round out the field in 41st and 42nd. And now we take a look at the points, leaving the 15th race and heading in to the first off week of the summer, Trey. The points in the front 4 have tightened up, but they've really gotten away from the drivers behind. So, Trey, is it just going to be a 4-car race? Or can someone like Keegan Thompson find a way into it from behind them?
I'm gonna go with it's gonna be an outside person coming on their way in.
All right. Well, it might be Keegan Thompson. With how these last 2 weeks have gone, Trey, he won at a road course. He now wins at a triangle oval. Does he have a third straight, do you think, in him?
I could see it. Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Well, if you see it, we'll see it in 2 weeks' time, if it can happen, as we'll take the off week, but we'll be back on JRTV in 2 weeks' time for the next race. It's the 16th of the season, the midway point. It's the GFS Marketplace 400 at the Michigan International Speedway, and last season, the winner at Pocono, Mathis Wells, went on to win at Michigan as well. So can Keegan Thompson do it? It would be his third straight victory, his fourth of the season, or can someone else find a way to victory lane? Tune in 2 weeks' time to JRTV to find out. For Trey Bardo, I'm Jordan Custody. So long from Pocono, and congratulations to Keegan Thompson, the 5 team, on their second straight in the 2003 season.